What's up, Bobcats? I'm Javon. This is BBTV News for May 5th, 2017.
Hi Bobcats, I'm Abby, starting you off with our top stories of the day. How many people know why Cinco de Mayo is celebrated? Well, you'll be one after this informational video from the History Channel.
What really happened on the 5th of May? And what are we really celebrating? For starters, it's not Mexican Independence Day, as many people mistakenly believe. Mexico actually celebrates its independence on September 16th. Instead, Cinco de Mayo commemorates an event that happened some 50 years after Mexico won its independence. In 1861, Mexican President Benito Juarez declared that his country was too poor to pay its debts to foreign nations, prompting France to invade Mexico and make it a French territory. But when French troops approached the town of Puebla on May 5, 1862, a ragtag band of Mexican troops managed to defeat them, despite being outnumbered 2-1. Though it ultimately failed to halt the French advance on Mexico City, the victory became a symbol of Mexican resistance against French imperialism. With U.S. support, the Mexicans were eventually able to push out the French for good and restore Juarez to power. By that time, the Cinco de Mayo spirit had spread to the United States. Soon after the victory in Puebla, Americans of Mexican heritage used the day as inspiration for the Union struggle in the Civil War. Americans in the midst of Civil War were inspired by the Mexican victory and began celebrating the 5th of May with parades, dances, speeches, banquets, and bullfights. Today, Cinco de Mayo is actually a bigger holiday in the U.S. than in Mexico, where it's mostly celebrated in the state of Puebla.
Hi Bobcats, I'm Jace. One of our BBTV students went out to see what it's like to manage several restaurants. Here it is in depth.
Many of you Bobcats may know restaurants such as Famous Dave's, Jam's American Grill in the Old Market and on Dodge, Paradise Bakery and Cafe in Village Point and Regency, and Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. I interviewed my dad to see what it was like to be Director of Operations for CMC.
My job is to go into the stores and work directly with the management team. I also want to help them in any way I can to help them operate their stores better than they're doing. As I go in every day to the stores, see how things are going, make sure management team is working, make sure staff is working.
One of the restaurants my dad manages is Famous Dave's. They are most known for their barbecue food and their barbecue sauce, which can be purchased at grocery stores. He also oversees the Jam's restaurants. They're most known for their specialty meals and the produce and meats that are always in their meals. He also manages Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. They are famous for their cornbread muffins, which are prepared fresh. They are most famous for their Southern fried chicken and waffles.
My favorite would have to be Paradise. And the reason is I spent 10 years as the general manager at Paradise out in Village Point. So I'm really comfortable with that, and I feel like I built that store myself. So I have a little bit of ownership in that. So I really enjoy going out there and seeing my management team out there.
The last restaurant my dad manages and his favorite is Paradise Bakery. For the whole day, the barista section will offer fresh cookies, coffee, desserts, and breakfast foods. For lunch and dinner, they serve salads, sandwiches, and soups that are all prepared in front of you. They are most famous for their freshly baked cookies with an assortment of flavors.
That's all for our top stories today. Now let's spin over to the BBTV Sports Zone.
Good afternoon, Bobcats. I'm Christian, and you just entered the BBTV Sports Zone. First up in Buffett Sports this week, track had a meet Wednesday against Martin and Bryan at home. On Thursday, the girls' soccer team will take on Lewis and Clark at home for the semifinals of the city tournament. The boys also played yesterday at home. We will have those results to you on Monday. For today's sports feature, we will be highlighting a very important event going to this weekend. The Kentucky Derby is to be held Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. To get you ready for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, as it's called, here are 4 fun facts about the Kentucky Derby. Number 1, the full distance of the race number 1 and 1/4 of a mile. The Derby is one of the 3 races in the Triple Crown. Winning all 3 races is a historic event, and only 12 racers have won all 3 events since 1919. The favorite for this year is an American Empire, but there is not a clear horse expected to pull away. This year is the 143rd race in history. That's all for sports today. Now on to the Buffett Binge.
Good afternoon, Bobcats. I'm Dylan with today's Buffett Binge. First up, for all you Marvel fans, the next trailer for their upcoming movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, was released. In the trailer, it shows Peter Parker living his second life as Spider-Man and meeting Iron Man himself, Tony Stark. Later, we see the main villain try to manipulate Peter into joining his side. The movie is set to be released on July 7th. Be sure to check it out. That's all from cinema. Now on to video games.
Hello, Bobcats. I'm Andrew with my last news segment for the Buffett Binge. Today, I will be recommending 3 games for you to play over summer break. So, for today's recommendations, I will be talking about War Thunder, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, and EVE Online. And first up is War Thunder. War Thunder is a World War II simulator made by Gaijin Entertainment, and the game is currently free to play on Steam. You have the choice of either to fight in a plane or fight in a tank. For the beginners, War Thunder has an arcade mode to have fun in, and they also have simulator and realistic mode for people who want to have a challenge. So if you get the game, get ready to strap yourself in and fight your way to victory and earn some medals along the way, and waste hours of your life trying to get a new plane you want, only to realize you had to research some other plane, and then waste more hours of your life researching that plane. Next up is CSGO. CSGO, or Counter-Strike Global Offensive, is a game that some people take way too seriously, but there is a mode for the people who just want to have fun. The game does cost money on Steam, but it's not really expensive if you get it on sale. Also, if you still have money in your Steam wallet, then you can buy totally useless weapon reskins that serve no purpose other than to say that you paid extra money to get a reskin that cost you like 4 cents, or you bought a reskin that costed you $500. But if you don't like your purchase, you can always sell it. And finally, we have EVE Online. EVE Online is an open-world MMORPG game that allows you to fly around in space in a variety of spaceships. You have the choice of either flying around and exploring, mining valuable ores, or fighting for your faction. But be ready, the game will not be so nice to you. Anything can happen in this game. You could get attacked by other players or pirates, you could find some super rare items, or you could be invited to some other player's corporation. The game is free to play, but limits to what you can do until you pay for a membership that needs to be renewed. But if you do buy the membership to get the Omega clone, you can fly, use, and do whatever you want. But if you just use the free Alpha clone, it will limit what you can use and fly, but you can still do anything. And that's all for the Buffett Binge. Now on to the BBTV feature of the day.
What's up, Bobcats? I'm Lisa, and I'm here with the feature of the day. Yesterday was May the 4th, otherwise known as Star Wars Day, and there was a big surprise for Star Wars superfans. Also, a star appears in a surprising place, and a long-awaited look at a big summer movie. David Daniel has it all in the Hollywood Minute.
They think they're here to read some classic Star Wars lines for a video celebrating the 40th anniversary. But what they don't know is that I'll be their surprise co-star. In other words, it's a trap!
Luke is at it again to promote the latest Star Wars Force for Change fundraiser, in which donors get a shot at unique movie-related prizes. Mark Hamill dropped in to surprise some superfans.
Luke, I am your father.
No! That's impossible! You can't be Dad Vader! How are you, man?
Luke, put your seatbelt on!
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 opens Friday, but that's not the only place you can catch Chris Pratt this weekend. The actor also stars in his very own comic book, the latest in Tidal Wave's Fame biography series. In print or online, you can trace Pratt's rise to stardom in a comic as his latest movie based on a comic hits theaters.
What's up, Bobcats? I'm Javon again, here with your daily announcements. Any current 5th grader in band, strings, or chorus interested in being a member of a 5-stick swing choir should pick up an audition sheet from the office or Miss Bullerkirk this week. These groups will be meeting during Buffett's Wednesday Club Day next year. Auditions are the week of May 15th. Hope to see you at auditions. Any student who is still interested in the 8th grade trip to New York City, please stop by Ms. Rosenberg's room or the front office for a packet of information. There's still an opportunity to get a 5% discount if you register before July 1st. If you write a fan fiction or draw fan art, please enter the Fangirl contest. Submissions need to be in Miss Packard's cottage by May 11th. If you are unsure about fan fiction or art, come see Miss Packard before or after school this week. Winners will receive gift cards from Half Price Books and Blix Art Supplies. That's all for today's announcements. Now for a little fun before we go.
Good afternoon, Bobcats. I'm Kylie, and I'm here with the Before We Go segment. A fast food giant invents a weird new utensil, stars align for one of fashion's biggest nights, and a woman moves into a house full of snakes. Bobcats, take a look at this.
McDonald's famous French fries have been a fast food staple for decades. How have they just now thought of the fork? The fast food giant just dropped the bizarre new utensil on the internet, and they're loving it. Even if it does look like a baby sloth hand, as one Twitter user pointed out. The fork allows customers a hands-free way to enjoy the famous fries. McDonald's seems fully aware of just how ridiculous the fork is. They even released a hammy, late-night-esque infomercial.
Its ergonomic design makes it handy for righties and lefties.
To hawk the freaky utensil, which the company calls, quote, uselessly useful. Celebs turned out in fabulous and freaky fashion for New York City's annual Met Gala. The Metropolitan Museum of Art Costume Institute benefit has become one of the biggest see and be seen fundraisers. Tickets to the fashion extravaganza cost $30,000, and it's strictly invitation only. Last year's star-studded event raised $13.5 million. A Minnesota dream home turned into a nightmare after a family moved into what turned out to be a house full of snakes. Angie Whitley bought this split-level home outside of Minneapolis. Just hours after moving in, she spotted a snake in her bedroom. 6 months later, she's found nearly 100 snakes. A local pest control company has donated services to help Whitley, who says she spent more than $13,000 trying to remedy the slithery situation. She's now looking into any possible legal options.
Thanks for watching our broadcast today. I'm Javon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.